Are we going to wait? Should we wait for John Bolger, or what do you want to do? Oh, okay. All right, well, let's get started then. All right, good evening and welcome to the Moorhead Public Service Commission meeting. I'm Lisa Borgen. I'm actually the secretary. We don't have a chair. We're going to do an election tonight, and our vice chair is here by ITV. So I will call the meeting to order. Moorhead Public Service Commission welcomes and encourages customer input on issues listed on the agenda or of general water and electric utility interest, time and commission permitting. Speakers are limited to 3-minute presentations. Customers wishing to address the commission regarding a specific agenda item will be afforded an opportunity during this discussion of that item. Customers wishing to speak on matters not listed on the agenda will be given the opportunity to do so under the heading Customers to be Heard and Recognitions. Each person requesting the opportunity to speak is asked to fill out a request to speak form located on the table in the back of the room and present it to the administrative assistant in attendance at the meeting. Any follow-up or feedback will be done by email on anything that cannot be resolved this evening. Just a reminder, commissioners, please make sure that your microphone is turned on and the red light displays when you are speaking during the meeting. Some members of the Public Service Commission will be attending the meeting today by interactive technology. Please keep your camera and microphone on so that we can hear you during the meeting. All right, so with that, we'll start the meeting. We have a new member today. Amy Lammers has joined us. She was appointed this last month by the City Council. Welcome to the Commission, Amy. So the first item of business is the election of officers. So we are looking for a nomination for the chairman of this commission. Does anyone want to make a nomination?
You self-nominate?
Self-nominate if you would like.
I really don't want to nominate someone else, but I'll nominate myself.
Okay, are there any other nominations?
Lisa, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Paul.
Okay. I obviously, as the vice chair for the last year, I think I was thinking I would be the chairman moving forward. However, some of my work commitments here in 2026 take me out of town, just like today, for a good part of the year. So I actually would like to nominate Matt Lyseth to be the chairman. Just because Commissioner Lyseth is a little bit closer to home and probably can do a better job at the bi-monthly meetings of being on site and leading that. So I'm going to nominate Lyseth.
Okay, so I didn't follow Robert's Rules of Orders correctly. I should have asked for a second on the nomination by Mr. Lindis. So is there a second to the nomination for Mr. Lindis? Is there a second? Hearing no second, the motion will fail. Now we have a motion from Mr. Baker to nominate Mr. Lyseth as the chair. Is there a second to that nomination? There is a second by Ness. Any discussion? Any further nominations? Hearing no further nominations, I'll call the question. All those in favor of Mr. Lyseth being the chair? Oh, we have to do it by roll call vote, sorry, because we have someone who's not here. All right, so Ness, Lindis,
Yes.
Lyseth, Lammers, Baker,
Aye.
and Borgen, yes. So that motion carries. Now we will need a nomination for vice chair. Do we have a nomination for vice chair of the commission? Any nominations? Mr. Lyseth.
I would nominate Paul Baker to continue to stay in his vice chair role.
Okay, we have a nomination. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ness. Any further discussion? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, we have to do a roll call vote of Mr. Baker being the vice chair. Ness.
Aye.
Lindis.
Yes.
Lyseth.
Aye.
Lammers. Baker.
Aye.
Borgen, yes, so that motion carries. And now the next position is secretary. Do we have any nominations for the secretary?
I would nominate Lisa Borgen to continue in the role of secretary.
Okay, is there a second?
I will second that.
Okay, we have a second. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Ness?
Aye.
Lindus?
Yes.
Lyseth?
Yes.
Lammers?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Borgen, yes. All right, so that is for the secretary. We also need someone to be our representative on the EDA. So that's part of the EDA's board, is having someone from Moorhead Public Service be on the board. So we will need a nomination for someone to be on that board, Economic Development Authority. Do we have any nominations?
Who was the representative before, and what are the times that the EDA meets? Because I believe that's during the actual workday.
I'm not sure when the EDA meets. Do you
Yeah.
know, Travis?
Correct, I can answer that. The EDA meets the first Monday of every month, and that meeting is typically at 12 PM, if I'm correct.
Starts at 11:45.
11:45.
Okay. And Mr. Lyseth, I think, is already on that, so he is not able to represent us on that board. Any nominations?
I would nominate Commissioner Lindos if you would be interested or accept that nomination.
I can't accept that right now.
Conflicts with your
It
workday?
conflicts with workday,
Okay.
but thank you.
I will nominate Mr. Ness. Are you able to do it with your work?
I am able to do it. There may be a few times where I would not be able to. I think I looked advanced into it, and there was probably a small handful, maybe like 5 times, where I wouldn't be able to make it throughout over the next 2 years, but it should be good.
I would second that nomination.
So we have a nomination and a second. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll take the vote. Mr. Ness?
Aye.
Okay. Lindas?
Yes.
Lyseth?
Yes.
Lammers?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Borgen, yes. All right, so now we have filled all of those chairs, and I think that at a later meeting, when Mr. Lyseth is the chair, he can discuss whether or not we should have an alternate. We did have a couple years where our representative was unable to attend most of the time, and I think having an alternate might be something we want to consider, but I'll leave that to Matt when he's the chair. Okay, moving on. I'm looking for a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll approve agenda. Move.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I can second that.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor, Ness,
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Lyseth,
Aye.
Lammers.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Borgen, yes. All right, that motion carries. Number 4 on the agenda is approving the consent agenda. All agenda items listed with an asterisk are on the consent agenda and are considered routine or non-controversial. These items may be enacted by the commission in one motion, which is a motion to approve the consent agenda. No discussion is expected for the items on the consent agenda. However, prior to approving that, the commission may request specific items be removed and discussion and separate action. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move.
Motion to approve.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, Ness,
Aye.
Lindus.
Yes.
Lyseth,
Aye.
Lammers.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Borgen, yes, that motion carries. Now we'll go on to number 7 on the agenda, customers to be heard and recognitions. Do we have any customers to be heard? It
don't
doesn't
think
look like we do, but I do believe we have recognitions. So Travis,
Usually we have a recognition, so yeah, no customers to be heard. One recognition, Megan Watland, she's our accounting tech. She just had her 10-year anniversary with Moorhead Public Service, so she deals with all the accounts payable, accounts receivable, and things like that, and also sets up the travel arrangements when we're traveling as well too. So kudos to Megan for her, and that actually is today.
oh,
So-
congratulations, Megan. I don't know if she's watching, but thank you for your years of service. We appreciate you.
That's all I
Any-
got.
No other recognitions? Okay. Is there any old business? Hearing none, we'll move on to number 9, and those are reports. And the first report is the city council report. Since I'm on the city council, I'll give you the report. Over the last month, we've had a couple of meetings in regard, we have lots of things on the agenda. One item of discussion has been a response to ICE tactics and things that are happening in Minnesota. We had a workshop today to discuss that further, and the mayor is going to put an ad hoc committee together to continue those discussions. So that's what I know about that. Public Service Commission, anyone on the commission go to any meetings or anything they want to report on? Kind of a quiet January, February. All right. The next item is 9C, our general manager's report. Travis.
Sure. I've got several items in the general manager's report tonight. Again, first and foremost, we've got our fourth quarter 2025 strategic plan updates. Again, I'll leave that for your guys' review and to look at. There are a lot of dashboards that we also include in that, and overall, by the end of 2025, we did really well from a electric and water and utility standpoint. I guess from an outage standpoint, that was a very good fourth quarter. From an energy services standpoint, we did really well. I think year-to-date or end-of-year rebates for our Bright Energy Solutions program, we were at about $144,000 in rebates we paid out. Again, that's through MRES as well, too. From a collection standpoint, that's pretty typical, getting down to that roughly 1% disconnection on a monthly and quarterly and annually basis. From a financial we did add one in here, so because we really started the AMI process, just showed you kind of through our billing cycles, the conversions that have occurred so far through the end of December 2025. It's moving along really well, and we're on the south, mostly on the south side of town for electric, and water is following up behind that as well too. From a financial perspective, water and electric end of the year in a net positive. Some of that was investments, some of it was assets from water main projects that were moved over from the city of Moorhead to MPS as well too. And we had 2 incidents that happened in fourth quarter. No time loss on those incidents, but we did have a couple injuries as well too. And then of course there's some social media statistics, all of our IT information in there as well too, from what they work on a daily basis to keep us secure. And then on the water side as well too, there's a bunch of good information. As you can see, we're kind of in a bit of a drought, kind of on the edge of a drought, and hoping for a little bit more snow and rain to make sure the spring is better, but we'll see how the next few days go. Other than that, that is all I've got for the strategic plan piece of it. Well, never mind. Again, you can see our matrix that we provide to the commission as well too. Majority of these were completed by the end of the year. A lot of them are annual ongoing processes or completion pieces of the strategic plan. A couple of them were shifted out to 2026 just due to timing constraints, and some of those are some longer projects as well too that do take longer than a year to complete as well too. From a general manager, the rest of the general managers agenda, we do have our solar credits for our community solar garden. Taylor, I don't know if you want to maybe speak to that briefly. There's not much going on there. Very typical to last year, except for our cost of maintenance has gone up, but go ahead.
Good evening, Commissioners. Taylor Holt, project engineer. Not sure what you'd like me to add, but we started installing solar panels between our 2 wind turbines back in 2015, and we finished the build out with a total of 9 solar arrays in 2019, I believe it was. We calculate all of the power generated throughout the year and compensate the customers based off of how many panels they own, the total generation, and what their electric rate is on an annual basis. They usually see it around their February bill. This year, it was coming in a little bit lower. We expect that to trend in that direction going forward as we see warranties expire and maintenance costs increasing, as well as the natural degradation of the solar panels as time goes on. Anything else you'd like me to add, Travis?
That's good.
Thank you.
Hey, I have a question, Taylor. So I read that part of the report, and it made me kind of wonder if there is like a long-term plan to upgrade any of those or replace them as their life is, you know, if they aren't even under warranty anymore and the maintenance is getting very expensive. What's our plan for the future?
The initial agreement with all of the customers is a 20-year agreement, and once that expires, my understanding, reading through it, is that MPS can purchase each panel for $1. I wasn't a part of the initial drafting of the agreement. I don't expect that we would snap them all up as soon as we could, but it would be based off of trying to protect our customers that own them from increased costs or unexpected losses.
Okay.
That's a 20-year plan. We'll see where it goes from that point on, and we'll have to determine it based off of what those maintenance costs come down the road.
Thank you.
Taylor, do you know, when we replace equipment, inverters, things like that, is there a warranty on those inverters then as well too?
I don't know the answer to that. I could look into it though. We've ran into some difficulties where most of the panels that were initially installed, they don't manufacture anymore due to the constant technology advancements, and then companies either going out of business or transitioning to the newer technology in all of their manufacturing lines. So we've definitely hit some growing pains from that front, but we continue to fix or replace panels as they're damaged or malfunction.
And how far are we into the 20-year agreement?
The 2015 panels would be on their 11th year. The 2019 panels would be on their 6th. So this should be the first year that those initial panels are no longer under warranty, which the panels are less of an issue than the inverters, because if a panel goes out, you lose one of 72. When an inverter goes out, you lose an entire array.
We do have some spare panels, I think,
Yes.
as well too, so.
I'm not sure what the quantity is, but we did purchase some panels when they became available as they were moving on to newer models.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And then I'm going to have Mark Moylan come up. He can talk to our 2025 audit update.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Mark Moylan, Finance, Admin and Finance Manager. Again, as Travis indicated, on an annual basis, Moorhead Public Services financial statements, it's a requirement that they're audited by an external firm. For the past 15 years, at least, that I've been here, the external audits have been completed by Eide Bailly. We do have a contract with Eide Bailly that was enacted 2 falls ago for the financial audits for years 24, 2025, and 2026. The cost of the 2025 audit will be $22,100, and the schedule is out here. We're 2 months past the close of the year, just about, and we've got about 85% of our reconciliations completed and submitted to Eide Bailly for review. They will be doing their field work the second week in March, but we've already loaded about 85% of the stuff, and the last bit we're waiting on some information from them, and then also a couple of minor things from managers, but we have those underway right now. One thing that's different this year is, as part of this little write-up, they've provided a governance letter to present formally to the Commission. So that has been included in the GM report. And so I just wanted to state that verbally, that I've provided that to you as required and requested by the external auditors this year. The audit should be completed and presented to the commission at the second meeting in May, if everything goes as expected. And as with the previous 15 years, I do not expect any issues, and there will be a clean audit. So with that, I'll just leave it for you if you have any questions for me.
Any questions about the audit? All right, thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, I've got just a couple more items. We got the lovely spring flood outlook that we get to talk about on an annual basis. There is a report in the general manager's report as well, too. Again, there were some minor adjustments late last week that we didn't get to include in there, but again, some 95% chance of exceeding. It was 17.2, that went up a little bit. Some of them went up, some of them went down based on those percentages, but overall, it's pretty consistent with what we saw on what's in the report as well, too. So also we did with the Winter Storm Fern that occurred a few weeks ago, MPS did have 2 volunteer line workers that made their way to North Carolina in preparation for that storm. They made it there. They spent the night, and that next morning they were released. APPA and MMUA did try to get them reassigned to a different location. However, there was a plethora of line workers that they didn't need them, so they released them. They came back home a few days later. Again, I want to give them a shout out and a thank you for traveling all that way and turning around and coming back and being available. It sounds like it was one of the largest mutual aid events in history. So they had a lot of line workers that attended that. So very good. And then also got a notice in here, West Central Regional Water District, somebody that MPS has been working very closely with over the last couple of years in helping. They're trying to form a rural water district in Norman, Polk, and Clay counties. They're going to be having a public hearing on April 17th. MPS will be attending that, or at least staff will be attending that. We've got our legislative newsletters. Again, the Minnesota legislative session starts today. And then one other thing, we are having some customers noticing taste and odor in the water. That I'll let Mark come up and kind of speak to it, but I'll kind of cover a little bit of it. Most of it is because of the warmer temperatures we've been having and the runoff, and I'll let Mark speak to the rest of it.
Thank you, Travis. Mark Pritchard, Water Plant Manager. As Travis had mentioned, we are having some taste and odor issues that customers have been contacting us for. So over the past week and a half or so, we've had some pretty unseasonably warm temperatures, and most of the snowpack in the region has melted. When that happens, we have a lot of what's called surface runoff. That's when that water percolates over the top of the land surface through debris, soil, ag fields, things of that nature, and it physically takes some of those compounds with them and then gets deposited into the river. What we've noticed over the past week or so is our total organic carbon loading at the river intake is up about 20 to 30%. So it's a pretty significant change for us. And unfortunately, it's one of those compounds that, while unpleasant, yes, it does not pose any health issues, but it's only something that we can take so much out before we just can't take as much out as we would like. So we're doing everything that we can. We did make some preemptive changes knowing that this would be coming our way. We did make some changes after we saw a few things on Saturday with a couple customer questions coming in, and we did make some additional ozone dosing changes this morning. So we're doing everything that we can. Every lever that we can pull is being pulled to make sure this goes away as quick as possible.
So is it more prevalent in one area of the city than another, or just happenstance?
It's pretty spotty right now. We don't have any for sure lockdown regions where we're having more customer calls than others, at least not yet. Hopefully it's minimized to the point where we don't have enough data to do that, but we'll have to see as the next few days progress. Again, we did some pretty aggressive changes preemptively, making sure that we're blending surface water that's of poor quality with more well water. That's been a traditional linchpin to our strategy for high quality for the customers. But then also going into the weekend, we did do some chemistry changes, and we're tweaking those as the week begins here.
Okay. Any questions of Mark? All right, thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
That concludes my report.
All right, let's go on to 9D, accept the report on services territory payment to RRV CPA for the 2025 energy usage.
Yep, and I'm going to have Mr. Moylan come back up. Again, This is part of our service territory buyout process, and on an annual basis, we provide a report to the commission along with a payment to any of the utilities. Currently, it's just Red River Valley Co-op, and I'll let Mark go from there.
All right, thank you, Travis. Again, Mark Moylan, Admin and Finance Manager. As Travis alluded to, this is a required report that we're required to give to the commission every year to just report that we did make our required payments as per our service territory agreements. As he indicated, at this time, we just have one other electric cooperative that we do make payments to. That would be Red River Valley Co-op. We did make payments to them starting when I started back in 2011 for a number of maps for 10 years, and they've all fallen off. What we have remaining is basically the Oakport Township annexation that occurred in 2016, and it has now reached year 10, and they will start falling off at the end of October. So we'll be making one more payment early next year, but it will be through October. And the payments have steadily increased over the past few years, but there's still nothing material. And they will drop considerably, as you can see from the schedule here. The bottom two items on this three-part schedule is what will remain after this, approximately $2,500 per year going forward. But this year it was $82,000 roughly. With that, I'll accept any questions or answer any questions.
Any questions? I think we need a motion for this, don't we?
Correct, yeah, and just, again, we give this update as well, too, in the fall, just with what those surcharges are, and we are expecting a few more years once these buyout payments fall off before they've paid off that amount to start serving them as more public service. So could be 2 years, could be 5 years, I think, Mark, I think that's what you've kind of got calculated.
Based on the current surcharge that we're assessing this year and last year, most of them will be paid off within the next 5 years, the longest one in 5 years. The others will be paid off hopefully within a year or two after the final payment has been made. And again, the surcharge that is assessed is 1/2 of what the price difference would be between Moorhead Public Services standard rates and what their rates would be if they were still with their old service provider. So again, that's a little extra charge that some of these customers are currently paying, but we do expect that most of them will be gone within the next 5 years.
And it is also less than what they would be paying with their old utility.
All right, so we're looking for a motion to accept the report.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have the roll call vote. Ness?
Aye.
Lindas? Lyseth?
Yes.
Lammers? Baker?
Aye.
Borgen, yes. So that motion carries. Thank you, Mark. The next item is number 12, to authorize Moorhead Public Service participation in the 2026 Light Up Navajo project.
And I'll be taking this one. Again, we talked about this a few times in 2025. This is, in 2025, MRES set up their first and sent their first group of line workers down to the Navajo Nation down in Arizona and New Mexico to install electricity or electrical lines for members of the Navajo Nation because they don't have electricity. There's roughly about 10,000 Navajo members that don't have it. It's about 1,000-ish families. And so they're going to double up this year in 2026, and for 2 weeks they're going to send a group of 8 line workers each week down to that. Based on getting everything kind of flushed out, we're going to be sending 3 line workers from Moorhead Public Service, and it sounds like one of the Hillsboro line workers is probably going to go with our crew down there, but what we are requesting is just approval to do that. Overall, Moorhead Public Service will pay the labor, will pay the travel costs to and from, and then any food costs while they're traveling. Once they're on site, the Navajo Nation will pay for any housing and food or feeding them and stuff like that. Roughly be gone about a week, maybe a little bit more than that, just due to travel time and stuff like that. So again, overall, just requesting approval from the commission for this.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? I want to give a little discussion because I went to an MRES meeting with Jake, and we got just a fabulous presentation about this Navajo Nation Light Up the Navajo project, and it was amazing what people are doing down there. It's just really heartbreaking that we have a place in the United States of America that's never had electricity, ever. And when you don't have electricity, you can't have a pump for your water because you don't have any power. So, I mean, there wasn't a dry eye in the place when we watched this, and all of the people who went and volunteered, I think it changed their lives. There was a group of 4 men who had gone down and did the work, and they were just really emotional about what a great thing it was for these folks. So I'm super proud of Moorhead Public Service that you guys are going to do this.
And I do have that video, so I'll share it with the commission. It is about 10 minutes, so.
Yeah, it's worth the watch.
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All right, let's take our vote. Ness.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Lyseth.
Aye.
Lammers.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
And Borgen, yes. So that motion carries. Now we're going to move on to number 13 on the agenda, which is awarding a bid for furnishing 115 volt something breakers.
Sure. I'll have Taylor come up. Again, this is part of our overall, working on some of our capacity improvement. We are looking at putting 115 kV capacitor banks at our northeast and southeast substations as part of those projects. These are specialized breakers for those capacitor banks, and I'm going to let Taylor finish it up.
Thank you.
Like the title says, it's for awarding bids for the purchase of 2 independent pole-operated breakers, one to be installed at the new northeast substation, and one to be put into the existing southeast substation. These special breakers will be used to operate and protect 2 future capacitor banks. According to a study by our transmission planner, Missouri River Energy Services, and an additional report provided by DGR Engineering, adding these capacitor banks is a cost-effective and a timely improvement that increases the capacity of MPS's load-serving capabilities. The main purpose is to provide voltage support to ensure that MPS provides good power quality under stressed grid conditions. These capacitor bank projects, along with several other upgrade projects, will be necessary in order to accommodate future load growth in Moorhead. At this point, I'd entertain any questions from the commissioners.
Questions? Wow, the lead time on these things are long, right?
Yep, that and everything else that I order.
Yeah, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Well, a couple years ago, or a few years ago, that's how long it took to get the transformer outside your house.
Yeah.
So we're doing better.
All right, any other questions? Do I have a motion then to approve this bid?
Make a motion to approve.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, Ness.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Lisa.
Aye.
Lammers.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Borgen, yes. So motion carries. All right, number 14 is a request to approve the request to the mayor and the board city council on resolutions for applications for water division projects. So I bet we got Jake coming up for that.
Oh,
huh?
yes, you do. So Jake's got about 4 different resolutions that we need the mayor and the council to approve as well too for water division projects. I think this is also tied to the Minnesota, I'm drawing a blank on it, PFA, Public Facilities Authority. So Jake, I'll let you go from there.
Thank you, Travis. Jake Long, Water Distribution Manager. As we mentioned, this item in front of you to approve is to approve a request to the mayor and Moorhead City Council to approve the resolution of applications for the Moorhead Public Service 2026 Water Division projects. Included in this item are 4 separate resolution of applications as for projects listed below in the agenda. The first project is our our main 2026 lead service line replacement project, which is approximately 30 lead service lines that we'll plan to replace. The second is something new for this year. It's an emergency replacement project where over the past several years we've had emergency replacements that come up, and this project would hopefully be able to replace those at no cost, especially, and be a little more efficient so that if there's a line that's is damaged in the wintertime or in the spring, and the contractor can come in, replace, get it all done, and using the grant funding. The third one, projects 3 and 4 are kind of built together. That's the number 3, 2026 water main replacement project. That's a loan. And then number 4 is the 8th Street project, same project within 8th Street, which is lead service lines. We need an application, funding application to replace those lead service lines in that project area for the grant funding. A little more background, this is the third year of this process. In 2024, MPS developed the pilot project, which consisted of replacing about 10 private lead service lines identified in previous water main replacement projects. That project really built the foundation for these projects, from applying to the projects, developing plans and specifications, the construction, and also the process of receiving the funds after construction. Since the spring of 2022, MPS has submitted several projects to be included on the project priority list for funding through the Minnesota Public Facilities Authority Drinking Water Revolving Fund. And funding for lead service lines has become available through a combination of the bipartisan infrastructure law and state of Minnesota matching funds. Last January 2026, the commission approved task order number 13 with Apex Engineering Group for engineering and funding administrations associated with these projects. Currently, MPS and Apex were in the process of submitting the funding application to the Public Facilities Authority for these projects, and the Public Facilities Authority requires that several items be submitted, including the attached resolution of applications and approved by the Moorhead City Council. Next steps for these are finalizing the plans and specifications, and then commission approval for authorizing ads for bids at an upcoming commission meeting. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Jake on these 4 resolutions?
You have just one funding question. So of the 4, which one, the loan that is for $500,000, is that specific to one of those specific resolutions?
Yeah, the 500,000 would be the number 1, the lead service line replacement project, which includes about 30 lead service lines.
And that loan is paid back how, and like for what term is it?
So that's actually that's the grant. So
Okay.
that's the previous 2 years, the 2024 project and the pilot project, and then last year's 2025 lead service line replacement project. That's grant funded. That's where we pay the contractor, get reimbursed by the state for those costs.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
I'm sure I've asked this before, but at our current rate, how long will it take to replace the service lines, the public side of it? And then the second question is, how many homeowners or individuals are still left in the city?
Yeah, so our inventory project is still ongoing. We have plenty of, I'll take a step back. With the AMI project, we're gaining, or we're inventorying the private side inside the home. There's lots of public sides that are yet to be inventoried as well, just because we don't have great service card records on them or plans and specs from previous projects. Again, this is the time frame from the 20s to the 40s, 1945 time frame. So we're getting that inventory during maintenance projects or water main replacement projects, which at that same time, if we're doing that work, we'll be replacing the line. Right now, we have about 200 identified lead service lines, but there's probably another, I think it's about 1,000 that need to be identified. So, which most of them we're confident that they're not lead, but until you actually are certain, we have to put it as unknown.
Any other questions?
And then how many per year are you actually doing? Because that's the second part, is how long is it going to take to
Sure.
get these 200 plus $1,000?
Yep, so the last 2 years, we've completed about 40. This year, the plan would be to replace 30 with project number 1, and then project number 2 could, have 5 to 10. And then the 8th Street project, there's lots of unknowns in there, so we're kind of estimating a little bit, but we're planning for about another 10 to 15 within there. So trying to hit those, a lot of the coordinating with city projects right now, since there is the 10-year, the state and EPA is looking for a kind of a 10-year plan to get these removed. So we're going to try to be focusing on main replacement projects that are in these older areas and replace the lead service line at the same time.
I think right now with the overall goal, if, let's say we have 300, we should be able, with doing 30-year, we should be able to attain that 10-year requirement. So again, it all depends on contact with the homeowners and if they want us to do it. Again, right now, there's no cost to the property owner to have that service line replaced. But sometimes it's just, you don't get the communication back or the approval to do it. So again, we have to respect their requirements as well too, or their thoughts as well, so.
So it is possible if I'm a homeowner and you identify that I can have it replaced, I can refuse to have it replaced.
Take it.
I
Yeah,
can't
kind of
imagine that
the-
would, I don't want you ripping up my rose bush, where the line's coming through or something like that.
Yeah, we haven't run into too much where they just
Okay.
don't want to replace it. They have trouble coordinating with us
Okay.
for a time, or coordinating with the contractor for a time. And kind of go back, with the 20 to 30 is kind of that's what contractors are kind of comfortable with right now. For, you get more than that, it's really tricky to be able to, because it's a lot of work. I mean, and they also have their other work that they're working on throughout the summer as well. So that 30 is what we're going to be targeting for the next several years moving forward.
What was the number again? You said, I had missed that part. The estimated number of how many are left in the community? And
Well,
I
we-
understand that there's 1,000 homes that we don't know about, but with your just best guess?
Right now, so there's about 1,000 unknown. There's plenty of those we're very confident aren't. We just need to be certain and verify. I wouldn't expect more than 500.
Gotcha, sure. And this is this curb stop to the inlet on the house? Is that? Can you
Yeah,
remind me?
the 200 that we have confirmed, that's a combination of, some are the entire service line, some are from the water main to the curb stop, which would be the public side, and then there's a combination of just private side only, from the curb stop to inside the house.
But
So
we
it's a
would
little
take
bit of
that.
everything.
The grant would take care of that part of it also, right? Like, so if I have it on my own personal property, the grant does cover that as well.
Right,
Okay.
yep. The grant covers the private portion.
Thanks.
And the state has moved towards now, it's changed over since 2022 when we started this application process. The private side was gonna be completely funded and the public was gonna be about 50%, but now they're moving towards the public side being 100% grant as well. It's just a little bit different process on the funding.
Hey, anything else for Jake?
No, I
So
think-
there are 4 resolutions. I think that we can handle all of them in one motion. Yep, all right, so I need a motion to approve the 4 projects for the water main replacements.
I move to approve.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, Ness, Lindas,
Yes.
Lyseth,
Aye.
Lammers,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Borgen, yes. Motion carries. Thank you, Jake. Number 15 on the agenda is the approval of a sponsorship request from the American Legion for the Veterans Honor Flight.
I'll take this one. So again, we've done this for the last two years already. This will be the 3rd year. Very good event. It is a sponsorable event. So typically as these events come in or these sponsorship requests come in, we go through an internal review per our MPS policy or commission policy and then administrative policy. If it's a approvable or sponsorable event, I then provide it to the commission for your guys' final approval. Again, this is a good event. We've had a lot of good responses on it, and just requesting commission's approval. Again, for the 2026 event, typically on an annual basis, we have about $50,000 between marketing and sponsorships that we can use up in total. So far this year, we've either earmarked or expended about $8,300, so we're good to approve this as well, too.
And this is a request from the Moorhead American Legion, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Well, I love the honor flight. I've been on it several times. It's just an amazing thing that we do for our veterans. So I super support it, but I guess I'm looking for a motion to approve this request.
It's a fantastic event. My father's been to it with my brother. It's great for the veterans and everything they do. I wholeheartedly move to approve.
All right, so we have a
Second that.
motion and we have a second. Mr. Lindas. All right, let's take our vote. Ness.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Lyseth.
Aye.
Lammers.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Borgen, yes. So that is approved. Number 16 on the agenda is to discuss a sponsorship request from the Asian Night Market for their 5th annual event.
Yep, and just kind of like what I said before, again, this is a sponsorable event. However, this event is not occurring in Moorhead, so I'm having some difficulties approving it or giving it to you guys to approve. So I felt tonight would be a good time to discuss this sponsorship event. Per our policy, or the commission policy and the administrative policy, it doesn't talk about location. However, the commission can decide whether or not they want to approve this event. The event is in 26, is at the end of May, and it is going to be held at the Fargo Air Museum. And so I'm letting you guys discuss and decide whether or not you want to approve this sponsorship. And if I'm correct, they didn't actually give a request for how much they wanted. They just gave a range. So that would be another reason to maybe recommend not approving this one.
Okay, anyone have any questions or comments about this?
In the past, Travis, can we give feedback back, or we just say no?
If they ask, staff or I will give feedback back. Typically, we send a letter one way or the other if it's approved, or shoot an email to them letting them know yes or no and why. So it's probably one of the things we, as a commission, maybe want to update a policy on. And once Matt's got his sea legs under him, we can have a little visit about it and maybe adjust the policy a little bit to be more Moorhead specific. Or if it's water and electric directly related. If it's outside of Moorhead, it has to be directly related to our electric and water industries.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I think that's reasonable feedback for them, Travis. We've approved a lot of these in my time on the commission. I don't ever recall approving anything across the river. Everything's usually pretty local, Moorhead or, service area stuff, so.
Correct. We did not have one that was outside of Moorhead so far. There's been a couple other items that have come in, but those didn't make it through the general manager review.
Okay. So I'm going to ask for a motion to whatever you want to do. Do you want to deny it? Do you want to do nothing? Do you want to approve it? Is there anyone who wants to make any motion?
I'll move to deny.
Okay, there is a motion to deny the request based on the discussion that we had.
Second.
And there is a second. Any further discussion? I would just like to comment too. I don't think this has anything to do with the organization or their mission. It's just that there really isn't a nexus to Moorhead or a nexus to the power and water that comes from Moorhead Public Service. So I think that's a reason to not fund this event. So, we'll take a vote on this to deny this request. Ness.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Lyseth.
Aye.
Lammers.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Borgen, yes. All right. I do not believe we have an executive session tonight, do we, Travis?
Night.
All right. Number 18 on our agenda is just a reminder of upcoming meetings. We have a March 3rd meeting that we may or may not have.
Right now, it's tentatively looking like we won't have that.
Okay, we will have one on March 17th, though.
Yep.
And then there are a few other opportunities for commissioners. The APPA Legislative Rally is in Washington, D.C., and I think Matt and Travis are already registered for that, so thank you for representing us there. MRWA Annual Water and Wastewater Technical Conference, that's in St. Cloud. I don't know if anyone has registered for that.
Typically, staff ends up going to that mostly because of certifications.
Okay. The MMUA 2026 Legislative Conference, that's in March in St. Paul. I will be there. I think, Travis, are you going to that?
I think the deadline is Thursday this week, so if you guys can get me, if you're wanting to go or not, so we can get you signed up.
You know what? I was mistaken. I was thinking we were talking about Moorhead Day at the Capitol.
Yep.
That's about the same dates, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the 11th and 12th of March, and then this is at the end of March.
Okay.
So,
So maybe you can reach out if anyone wants to
yeah,
go to that.
yeah. I did send an email last week about it, so if you have availability and want to go, I need to know ASAP.
Okay, and then the MRES annual meeting, I attended that last year. I thought it was well worth the time. It's only in Sioux Falls, so it's not too far away.
Correct, and I think registration either just opened or is going to be opening here shortly, so if you are interested, I'll be getting out a notice on that as well, too.
Okay. So any other issues for the good of the order? Hearing none, I will look to adjourn. So, good night, Moorhead.
I think you got to do a...
Do we have to do a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor, Ness.
Aye.
Lindas.
Yes.
Lysa.
Aye.
Lammers.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Borgen, yes. All right, good night, Moorhead. Thank you.